Hey, Tribute Band Central, welcome to the show. I have the Spirit of Rush here with me. They are a Rush tribute band. Vicki Sky Hudson, lead vocals, and Casey Shelton, drums and percussion. Hello, welcome to the show. How are you guys doing?
Hello,
Doing
it's so
pretty
good to
good.
be
Thank you
here.
for having us.
Well,
Yeah,
I am so glad you took some time out to talk a little bit about the Spirit of Rush. Um, I'll just go ahead and open it up. Tell me about the Spirit of Rush, members. What's your history?
yeah. I'm Vicki Sky Hudson. I'm the lead singer of the Spirit of Rush, and we also have our guitarist Reese Boyd, who's not with us here today, but he's with us in spirit, pun intended. And then Casey, I'll let you introduce yourself.
I am the drummer for Spirit of Rush. We've been together for 12 years now, and my father is Edward Shelton. He's the bass player and keyboardist and all that stuff. So yeah, very exciting stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, Ed is half of Geddy Lee, and I'm the other half because Geddy Lee is not human and he does what we do just himself. As far as our history, we met under some pretty serendipitous circumstances. Rush, pun intended. That's the name of a Rush song. But I had played music off and on for years, but never live. I've been a public speaker in my day job for my whole career, so being on a stage was never an issue. But after many years away from playing music, I decided to pick up the guitar again and took some lessons from an incredible mentor named Sean Shuffler. And I joined a jam group with my good friend Mark. And they were like, you really ought to be out there doing some open mics. And I started going out there and actually playing guitar and singing at the same time, which was pretty tough. But at one of those open mics, I met Reese, and he was only, what, Casey, was he 12 at the time? Something like that. He's
At
really like
least,
a
yeah.
prodigy. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. He and I talked about being Rush fans and that maybe we should play some Rush at one of these open mics. And then I said, well, yeah, who are we going to get to play drums and bass? And Reese is like, well, I got a couple of guys. And that was Ed and Casey. And so, Casey, you want to tell him about, playing with Reese Boyd Project and kind of how you guys got together?
Yeah. I mean, I've been a drummer almost ever since I was born because even when I was a little baby in diapers, my father, would, interact with me and play with me, and I would be sitting on his lap, and, you know, he would just all of a sudden start having me, he would grab my arms and start air drumming. And, every time he did it, I would just laugh and think it was the greatest thing ever. So naturally, he, got into it and was enthusiastic with it. And, it was around 5 when there was a home video that someone recorded where my father was playing somewhere. It was like a jam session or whatever. And Glenn, a friend of mine who's been a family friend for quite a number of years, um, he was sitting on the drum set, and I was sort of off on the sides, and I somehow found this bongo drum and found a drumstick somehow. And the camera, showed me, just my eyes were just glued to Glenn, and almost like mimicking, his every time he hit a snare, I would try to, hit it exactly. Whenever he did a fill, I would, just, start going crazy. And so at an early age, even before I even had a drum set or anything, even remotely to hit or bang on anything, I just had this knack to be drawn to drumming. And it wasn't until around 7 or so when somehow or another my grandparents, through my uncle, had a pre-assembled drum kit just lying around in their garage. And
Perfect.
and I stumbled upon that. So that gave me even more of a reason to want to visit my grandparents. Man, I love them to death, but that was just, extra icing on the cake. But you know, I didn't I didn't really know what I was doing, but I just, just loved and enjoyed doing it. And, and I guess eventually my grandparents told, my mom and my dad enough that, it's like, you got to get this kid a drum kit of your own because they're driving us crazy. So, so I think it was one Christmas one time they surprised me with a sparkling blue, it's a drum outfit called Sunlight. And it was a five-piece kit, one hi-hat, one crash at the time. And I don't think it came with a ride cymbal per se, but it was like a faux ride cymbal type of thing. But it was this very basic, thing or whatever.
Wow.
And luck would have it that my father had his like he had a turntable and his CD player and all this stuff and all of his music collection just sitting right beside, the kit. So uh, I had this huge library of music to listen to and play along with and all that stuff. So that really opened my eyes and my, horizons to drumming. Um, I never officially had a, well, I had one official lesson of drumming. I'm pretty much
Wow.
self-taught. So,
Hard to
Incredible.
believe to us, even
yeah,
to this day. I mean,
yeah.
Well, yeah,
And,
because I mean, really, um, and I am not an expert by any means, but I have a little bit of a musical background. And Rush's music, their rhythms are difficult. They have a lot
mhm,
of time changes, and the songs are complex.
mhm,
So
very.
that is really, especially, well, for all pieces of the band, but for the drummer especially,
mhm,
from listening to it and kind of knowing the background of Rush, that's incredible. It really
It
is.
really is.
mhm,
Even after 12 years, like sometimes if there's an instrumental section of a song where I'm not doing anything, I'll just turn and watch and just be blown away. Like even if I've seen it multiple times before. Uh, yeah, just
It,
kind of
it
amazed by these guys.
it is. It is. Um, in high school, you know, like every group in the band kind of had a particular rock band that they liked, and the
mhm,
percussionists were all Rush fans. Those were their heroes, and so I knew it from that. I was a little bit more of a casual fan from the radio and those types of things, and I've never been to an actual Rush concert. So I'm very excited to hear you guys play.
Well, you come see
Let's
us anytime.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So, what's your favorite song or songs to perform? What really gets you going? What do you think the crowd really gets into?
Oh, wow. Well, sometimes those are different questions. I can, because I think that some of the most like popular Rush songs are always fun to play. And we always say that we are the band who loves all Rush from A to Z. We know that
mhm,
people have their favorites and their eras that they like, or maybe even don't like, but we actually love it all, the whole catalog. So we're all open to trying anything from the Rush catalog. But to perform, for me, this song Anthem is probably at the top of my list because it is just such a butt kicker.
mhm.
I often tell our audiences it's like getting a punch in the face and being run over by a truck, but in a good way, like where you, just has so much raw power. I also love singing Natural Science because that's the first Rush song I ever heard at like age 13. So I
Wow.
hear this song coming out of somebody's bedroom, and I was just like, what on earth is that? So now to actually play it is quite an honor to me. I also listed Between the Wheels from Grace Under Pressure
Yep.
is a beautiful song to perform. Free Will, Red Sector A, and Headlong Flight are probably my favorites.
Mhm.
Wow. Wow. How about you, Casey? Which song or two really hits it on the drum line?
Probably my favorite is Mystic Rhythms because, in my opinion, that is the absolute hardest Rush song to play on drums, anyways, because you're constantly using all four limbs of your body in various angles and directions, and especially once the chorus hits, that's when things get really nuts, and you have to be the coordination involved is quite, it's quite tedious at times, and it really pushes you sometimes to your limit, so it's something that, it's one song I really have to practice and, get down well enough to play live. So that's always been
Does it
my
so well.
favorite, Rush song in general, actually. And also my favorite album is
Oh,
Power Windows. So,
excellent. Excellent.
yeah.
So,
Um,
I'm going to give you a moment to plug some upcoming shows. If you want to go ahead and tell us where you're going to be, I know you're generally in the Atlanta area, but go right ahead. And for my viewers, I will put a link to their website. And I'm just going to comment on your website. Extremely nice, useful, lots of great information. As far as I'm concerned, you're at the top of tribute bands for the website. So kudos
Wow.
there.
mm,
It's a very nice website. I'll put a link in the comments.
Thank
mm,
you. I
cool.
appreciate
Thank
it
you.
very much.
Hmm.
That's great to hear. So, on our website is a page for our upcoming shows, but actually, in about just 9 days here, we're going to be at Stillfire Brewing in Swanee, Georgia. And on August 22nd, we're going to be at the legendary Avon Theater. So, this is a place where Elvis Presley has played on this stage in the 50s, and it's still there. It's an incredible place. Our fans love it. And we have multiple shows coming up in the fall. The Well, up and coming, Georgia, down in Loganville, Atmosphere. It's a new venue, so definitely come check that out. And then on October 1st, we will be at the fabulous Griffin Opera House. This place is
Mm,
an incredible performing arts center. It
yeah.
was built in the 1800s and it's just
Wow.
got
History.
killer sound and yeah, it's beautiful.
Mhm.
So,
Outstanding. Outstanding. I am planning on being at your August 22nd show at the Avon Theater.
Oh,
yay!
cool.
Oh
So
my gosh, that's
That'd
so
be
I hope
awesome.
cool.
Yeah,
we'll have a moment to say hello, and I can't
sure.
wait to hear the show. And I have not had the pleasure of being at the Avon Theater yet, so I'm excited about
Hmm.
that also.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
great. It just came back under a new manager. I say new because he's managed many music venues very successfully in the past. So we're super excited that he's at the helm. So that'll be fun, and we'll give you a shout out on stage. You come say hi to us.
Yeah,
Oh, well, thank you.
for
Very
sure.
kind of you.
Hmm.
Very kind of you. Um, do you guys have any original music that you do? And if so, feel free. Is it on Apple Music or anything like that, or are you pretty much 100% tribute band?
So we actually just started to create original music about what, Casey, like 6 months ago, maybe
Hmm.
something
Wow.
Yeah.
like that.
Hmm.
And I've been experimenting with songwriting for a couple of years now, and I've always written poetry and just wanted to give songwriting a try. But then I was working on it and I thought, gosh, there's only so far I can really take these songs on my own just sitting in my bedroom, which was never something I was super interested in doing. And I thought, why not bring it to the guys? And when I did, I was just shocked and delighted by how the songs just leveled up so much with their help and arrangements. So I now consider them Spirit of Rush original songs.
Hmm.
And Casey, do you want to tell him a little bit about like because I was just so amazed with the last song, Lost and Found, how you created the
Hmm.
drum track. It's like I gave you the song, and then magically there was this just incredible drum track that was just perfect
Hmm.
for it. I mean, how did you do that?
Yeah.
Cool.
I just really felt it, really. I mean, I do that kind of stuff in my spare time is do like some of the, drumless tracks are like on YouTube and whatnot, all these various, rhythms and flows and, samples of songs that other people, whether they're guitarists or, artists in general do. So like, funk and, everything. There's no drum track, so you kind of just make it your own and, so I'm kind of used to that. As long as I have an idea of where the song is going, I can at least, formulate some way, through, whether an artist like Vicki here, and be like, oh, I want it, like that was good, but maybe this particular style or this, kind of rhythm instead, and be like, okay. So I guess I just
You nailed
happened to
it.
get, yeah, I just happened to get lucky that time, and it's like,
Oh, I don't know if it was luck, but yeah, no, they were amazing. So
but
we
yeah.
just released a song. We just played it live for the first time at our last show at Red Clay Theater. It's called Lost and Found. I wrote the words and like the sort of basic melody and chords and everything, but then the guys just sort of took it to another level. So
Great.
I can share that link. It's on my personal YouTube channel, which I hardly ever use, but
No
happy to
problem.
share
Well,
the
we
link with your listeners.
Mhm.
absolutely, that would be great. We'll get that into the comments also.
Cool.
So when I set out on this journey for tribute bands, because I was a big fan and I just didn't there didn't seem to be a lot of information out on the internet, not a lot of stuff on YouTube. So I created this channel and I when I started interviewing people, everyone said, you know, if you have like a vlog, you need to ask everyone at least one same question. So my final question is the one that I always ask everyone, and is that do you guys attend tribute band shows in your off time? And if so, who do you go see?
Absolutely. The band, our own band keeps us pretty busy
Mm.
between the booking, the social media, the marketing, all of those things, and then playing and rehearsing for Rush is quite challenging, as Casey said. But when I do get out, there are some fabulous tribute bands in Atlanta. My personal favorites are So Unusual, which is a tribute to Cyndi Lauper. The woman who does Cindy is like channeling her. It's unbelievable. She is a superstar. Her name is Becky Finch, and she's amazing.
Cool. I'll have to check
And
her out.
please do. They are incredible. You should have them on the show as well. My other favorite is Hounds of Love, which is a Kate Bush tribute band.
Okay.
And once again, the woman who does Kate Bush is just phenomenal, and all the musicians are absolutely top notch. There are so many good bands in Atlanta, it's hard to choose, but I would Carpool, Denim Arcade, the band Who Fell to Earth, which is a David Bowie tribute, Partisans. There's a new
Mm.
Alice in Chains tribute band called Chains of Deceit that are just starting out, really cool,
Mm.
and a band called Story of a Life that I think is excellent. And the list just goes on, so I'll stop there.
No problem. No problem. Thank you. How about you, Casey?
I'm kind of the same. There's a few. There's Abacab by Genesis, who we saw just a few months ago. They were really
They
awesome.
were
A
great.
Genesis cover, tribute band, and they were really good. There's, uh, let's see. There's a few Soundgarden tributes here in Atlanta that are really good. I forget their names at the moment, but I actually got to meet the singer at one of our shows, and so that was pretty cool. Mm.
Excellent.
Oh,
Excellent.
yeah. You're
Well,
right. The
since
band Pushing Daisies, I have to give them a
oh
plug too. They're a
Yeah.
90s tribute and they do Soundgarden and a bunch of other like
oh
90s hard rock. They're really good
Hmm.
oh
also. So,
all
yeah.
right. That was pushing daisies, correct?
Pushing Daisies. Yep.
Cool, cool. Well, Casey and Vicky, I sincerely appreciate you taking some time out of your busy schedule.
Yeah. Thank you for
I
having us.
am
Yeah.
very excited to see the Spirit of Rush in August, and I
Yep.
cannot wait. And for my audience, if you see me at the show, please come up, say hello. I'd be happy to put you on camera, and you can give a shout out on the channel. And I am looking forward to the Spirit of Rush. You guys have a great day. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for
Thank you for
having
having
us.
us. Yeah.
All right, Tribute Band Central.